All right, my friends, welcome to episode 221 of Prof and Dev Play Games. My name is Larry. I am a professor. I am at Prof Plays Games on Twitter. Over there is Anthony. He is a developer at Summer Speak on Twitter. And any good news in your life lately?
Yes, some very good news. I took a job, which I start next Monday, so 16th, at System Era Softworks, who make Astroneer. I'll be a game designer on Astroneer.
That's fucking awesome, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for it. It's a cool team.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's a cool team. Be 27 total people in the office, all focused on this game, and yeah, should be a nice place to just settle for a while, and cool people, a lot of cool problems to dig into. So I'm excited.
Are you mainlining Astroneer right now?
Not completely. I'm planning, first things first, I mean, I've played some of it, will be get in for that first week, because, they're closed from the 23rd to the 2nd. Okay. Or the 1st, through the 1st.
So you come in for like 4 days?
I'll be in there for a week, which is good, because I'll do my onboarding during that time. Like, right. I'm sure the first couple days will be, here's your computer, here's how to actually, like, check out the game, play the current builds, get into source control, here's your email, probably sign a bunch of paperwork on insurance and all those other things. Like, there'll just be HR things to do for the first number of days, and I just wanted to get that out of the way before the holidays, basically, instead of doing it when I get there in the new year, and then having a wasted time. So basically my plan is get in, kind of get the lay of the land, get all my HR stuff done, see what the next slate is of updates, what the plan is currently, what I need to be thinking on in that first week, and then we'll take a week off. I'll play a bunch of Astroneer during that week.
Nice.
With kind of primed with what's ahead for it and what I should be thinking about, and be ready to go on January 2nd with a bunch of ideas, or I'll come in and be like, I have no clue. Sorry.
Which part of Seattle are they in?
Fremont.
Okay. I'm not sure why I asked that question, because I don't fucking know where Fremont is.
Do you know where the Troll is? Have you heard of the Seattle Troll? Troll under the bridge?
No.
It's a big sculpture actually under a bridge. That's a troll sculpture eating a VW bug.
Oh, nice.
I'm surprised I never took you by it.
Yeah, you might have, and I forgot about it.
But, it's in the same neighborhood as that. And it's kind of a hip little neighborhood. There's a giant Lenin statue there. Not the Beatles Lenin, but the Soviet Union Lenin.
What?
Yeah, giant statue there.
They were pulling fucking Lenin statues down when I lived in Ukraine. There's fucking one in Seattle.
Yeah, the history of how it got here was insane. But, yep, it's here, and it's in the middle of this neighborhood.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah. So, yeah, it's just north of the downtownish area, close to Ballard. We went to Card Kingdom when you were up here, so it's basically it's pretty close to there. Honestly, it's probably about a half mile from there.
You'll be commuting again.
I will.
More time to play Switch, I guess.
Yeah, actually, I have Switch to play. I'll be reading probably a bunch again, because the commute really helps with my reading time.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited, though. It'll be a good time.
Well, having a full-time job again will be very interesting.
Yeah.
Like, what I mean by that is, like, commuting.
Yes.
Commuting to a full-time job is what I meant, I guess.
Yep. Yeah, I know.
Well, congratulations, man.
Thank you.
I'm excited for you, and maybe I'll have to check out Astroneer one of these days.
We can do it, and we can play co-op.
Sounds good. Well, this week we are talking about a couple of things. We're going through our top 10 games of the decade. It is nearing the end of the decade. It's kind of snuck up on me. Last 2.5 years with child rearing has made the time fly by.
Yes.
And then Sony announced a State of Play that is happening on Tuesday, so we're going to try to take a couple stabs at what boring shit Sony's got planned.
Yeah.
Their State of Plays recently have sucked, so I don't have a lot of... I'm not thinking much, but I guess we'll get there. Fuck it,
yeah.
So, 10 top games of the decade. Before you even get into, like, any of the names or whatever, like, what was your process for coming up with what you think are the top 10?
Googled games of 2010s. And it just gave me a giant list.
Yeah.
Basically went through, though, wrote down any of them that gave me some, and then went through that list of any that I felt were stand out to me. Then I went to my Steam library, and you can sort your library by release date.
Oh,
and I just
nice.
basically just started at 2010 and just went up the list of all the games as they were released and wrote down more that I thought of. Went to my trophies on PSN, because it tells you the date that you got trophies.
Nice.
And so I could just track the games I played.
Right.
And when I got the trophies on them, wrote down more. I mean, my final list before culling things down was about 50 games. And a lot of them I was like, these won't be in my top 10, but they do stand out to me. So, needed to write them down. But it was just basically a process of just going through things that I've played, lists of things that have actually been released in the past decade. Some stuff snuck in there that I didn't expect. I could have sworn that it was released before 2010, but nope.
Yeah. Right, and you're like, well, I gotta fucking put that on my list.
Yeah.
Sort by release date. Oh shit, you're totally right.
Yeah.
My most recent one is In Search of a Home.
Yep.
Nice.
Still not completely done with that either. There'll be updates for there. I've been working on some stuff at night on the side. There's more stuff I want to do there. So, anyone who has it, there will be more updates.
Awesome.
Yeah. That was most of my process.
Yeah, I kind of did the same thing where... what the fuck? Oh, man. Fuck, my list is fucked now.
Oh, no.
I didn't think this was on the 20... in this decade. Okay, so I just did sorted by release date on Steam as well. But anyway, I looked up a bunch of lists online and circled the ones that I love playing. When I just sorted for my list here, I found the game that I was looking for in all those lists that were on none of the lists. So I said, okay, that's not one of the games that came out this decade, and that was Batman Arkham Asylum. But this says it came out March 26, 2010.
Let me see.
Unless they've got that wrong.
It might have came out for PC then. No, because it released on August 25th, 2009. That's its console release date.
All right, good. I'll have to fucking change my whole list then, because that would be on it for sure.
Yeah.
Right. The PC, when it comes out, PC would be...
Yeah, so you have to check some of that stuff a little bit, but...
Yeah. Okay. Well, my list is intact then. So, basically did that, added a few that weren't on other people's lists, and then took them off. and then really got down to like what I thought were the 10 best. And I was trying to like not be biased for recency, but it's a little hard.
So the thing is, as I did my top 10, and I really was trying like, don't even think about when it came out. Yeah. But then I put the dates, the years on my top 10 list, and I only overlap like, there's only 2 years where I have 2 games in them the same year.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
It's spread from 2010 to 2018. Mm-hmm. 2018 has 2 games, and 2016 has 2 games. Uh-huh. The rest are from throughout the decade.
Right, that's good.
Yeah, I was surprised. It was not intentional at all. Just how it worked out.
Wow, sorting by release date is kind of fucking rad.
Yeah.
That's cool. So I'm not sure if mine is sorted like in a 1 to 10 fashion, but I could probably bang that out real fast. If I were forced to choose, I should say, because I could not make the choice earlier. But if you're gonna do a 1 to 10, maybe I'll try to do that.
I do have a 1 to 10.
Okay, why don't you start or vamp?
I'll start with 10.
Okay.
So the thing is with 10, this shifted quite a bit because there's 40 games that could have been in this spot, basically. That I just didn't make it to the top of this list. But I came down to a game that I've put hundreds of hours into, converted me to a franchise I never thought I would actually enjoy, and just have great memories of. And that's Monster Hunter World.
Oh shit! Okay.
It wins out. I mean, it just over 200 hours into it.
Fuck.
And I still think back to like how much I just enjoyed playing that game, especially co-op. Right. With the guys I was playing with, like that's probably the only game since World of Warcraft where I've had an extended period of time where I've like scheduled gaming with people like that, of being like, yep, we're getting on tonight, we're going to play this, we're going to do this, fight this monster, get this stuff, this is what I need, and then like during the day sending Discord message back and forth about like, oh, I need to get this, have you checked out this gear, this build, just really into the weeds on that game. And it felt great, and it was an awesome time. So for that, I kind of figured it had to be, it pushed everything else out and made it onto my list. Beyond that, I mean, it's probably the cleanest example of the Monster Hunter formula. While not perfect, it's way easier to play than any of the other games.
Right.
It's pretty. The maps are insane, expansive, and have like just the level design is really cool, and how everything moves together and comes back on top of itself. And once you know a map, you can just fly around it to get to where you need to go. The monsters feel like they live in the world, which is great. Like, yeah, they have their lairs and their homes, and when you know on the map where they're like, oh, that's this monster's nest, it's really helpful, and you know that they'll go back there at some point. So it just did a really good job of making the monsters actually live in the world where you're hunting them, and you can use that knowledge. So,
yeah, I remember the little bit that I played, it really felt like they weren't just there as props for me to kill. Like they were doing their own thing.
And they do, and they fight each other and the whole thing. Like, yeah. So yeah, that was my number 10, and that was in 2018.
All right, my number 10. If I can read my writing here, this is a fucking. This is a cheat. This is whatever. This is my list, but you're gonna scoff. Number 10 is Divinity Original Sin 2, a game that I've only played for 10 hours. And the reason why I'm putting this on this list is because I'm going to kick myself in a year if this is not one of the top 10 games of this decade. It is fucking phenomenal. It is a game that we started playing on PS4. I started playing solo before that, and it didn't click, or I wasn't in the space to play it on my PS4, whatever. But I got it on the Switch during the Black Friday, and I am fucking obsessed. I am obsessed in a way that I haven't been obsessed with the game since Witcher 3. Like, this is my new Witcher 3. There is so much to do. There are so many ways to do it. The writing is incredible. The way that you interact with characters, among your cadre of people. Like, there are 7 people, I think.
Yeah.
And then you choose 4. And then the way that they interact, the stories they have, everything about it, just, there's so much depth. There's so much to this game that is going to infest my life for the next year. I really do think that I'm not getting off this train. So I have to put it on this list simply because I know it belongs on this list, and I probably, by the time I get done with it, it's going to belong near the top of the list, but I'm not there yet. So it's Divinity Original Sin 2, and I'm fucking playing on the Switch, where it's like, it's portable. It's a little blurry, but it fucking plays great. Everything about it plays amazing on the Switch. And I cannot get enough of this game, man. I can't fucking put it down, which is come into my life at the wrong time because it's the end of the semester and I really need to do other shit right now.
But it's on the Switch, so it's easy to just pick up and play a little bit here and there.
Yep. I can't recommend it highly enough to get in like 10 hours and see what you think.
I am so tempted to get it on the Switch. Like, I didn't put it on my list only because I haven't played enough of it. Even though I'm sure that it's amazing from what I have played. But I've probably only, like you, scratched such a tiny amount of that game. So
well, and what we did, I felt like we played for a significant portion of the beginning part, and I didn't do any of that shit in this 10-hour playthrough. Like, I'm just now getting to some of the, like the cell down below where we got our ass handed to us.
Yeah. I
found it. I've got in there a different way than we got in there. And I found a way to get back out of there because I was getting my ass handed to me. It's stunning. It is stunning how deep it is, and I'm 10 hours in and I haven't even gotten into Fort Joy yet. Like the actual jail part of it. Like I'm outside of it still. Like,
oh wow!
Like mopping up shit and like just making new discoveries and leveling up, strengthening my team, and really figuring out how to play the game. And I'm doing the thing that I know that you've done, Brad's done, and when I hear you guys do it, I think that's crazy. I would never do that. I'm 10 hours in and I want to restart because I know I fucked shit up. Like I could be more efficient. I could do this better. I could keep that black cat alive that I killed on accident. So I don't think I'm going to do that, but I've been sorely tempted.
Yep.
So that's number 10 for me.
Oh man, and those guys are making Baldur's Gate 3.
I know. I was thinking about that today. Like, that's fucking rad.
It's amazing.
It's such a great studio to make that game.
Yeah. So yeah, my number 9 is a game from 2011. And really, when it comes down to it, is probably my favorite game from Valve. Portal 2.
I can't believe Portal 2 was back in 2011. Jesus.
Yep, and think of how little they've released in that amount of time. I guess they did Dota 2. They focused on their multiplayer stuff.
Yeah.
But really, that is the last... I think at that point, that was the last game that tied into the Half-Life storyline, because the Portals are in the same world as Half-Life.
Right.
And it had a little bit of like teaser stuff for what would have been Episode 3. Which we're still not getting, because Half-Life Alyx still isn't set after anything. It's set before all this crap.
Right.
But yes, Portal 2 took everything that was great about the first Portal and amplified it and made it better, and you get absolutely incredible characters. It's genuinely funny, like laugh out loud funny.
Yeah.
The puzzles are great, and it really expands on the puzzles of the first game even further, giving you a couple new tools to use, flipping kind of who's the villain and not kind of thing, considering GLaDOS isn't a potato on your gun for a while. Spoiler, but it's 2011. It's absolutely hilarious, though.
I was just thinking, like, I've played that game in co-op only, and the co-op stuff is different than the main campaign.
I mean, the co-op stuff is a completely different game.
You're right. It's fucking great, and that's all. I played that with Brad all the way to completion, but I never, ever played the single player.
The single player is amazing. And it's an FPS that is not really combat at all. I mean, the tool you have is a gun that shoots portals.
Right.
You can use that to manipulate, like, turrets and stuff, but you're not shooting anything, ever. You're just solving puzzles and flying through the air. And then shooting the moon, sometimes. Which is the best thing ever. To win this game, you must shoot the moon. Go for it. Which is funny, that's the humor of it.
Right.
That they actually made, like,
you're
literally shoot the moon.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it is one of my favorite games ever, and probably one of my favorite games. Definitely one of the favorite games in the past decade.
I need to get back and do the campaign.
It's not that long.
Yeah, exactly. It's a couple hours. 5 hours, 7 hours, something like that.
Definitely it's longer than the first Portal, which was only a few hours. I bet it's like 10 to 15. I bet.
Oh, okay.
Maybe a little bit less.
Yeah. Well, I need to. Having played the multiplayer campaign and how fucking brilliant it was, how smartly put together it was.
Yeah.
I need to do it.
Single player game takes about 6 to 10 hours.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds great. For me, number 9 is a game that came out, I think it was 2015, and it launched on PS Plus for free, and it was basically built on an old game for PS3 that was kind of very similar in mechanics that just didn't hit. Fucking Rocket League.
Oh, yeah.
Rocket League, I've put so many fucking hours in that game, and it's just such a simple formula boiled down to just how much fun can you have in 10-second increments over and over and over again. The game modes, I feel like, 2-on-2, 3-on-3, like the core stuff is what propels that game forward. When they've added a bunch of different, like hockey or basketball or whatever, kind of at the edges were interesting, but it really was just down to like the core gameplay of that game was so well done, so finely tuned that it was it just for me scratched that competition itch over and over and over again. It's such a fun game. So that's number 9 on my list.
That's cool.
Not much to say about it.
Yeah,
because everyone knows what it is, and that's what it is.
My number 8 is from 2013, which is crazy to think this is 6 years ago. And it is BioShock Infinite.
I knew that was somewhere on your list.
It had to be on my list.
Yeah.
One, I think the gameplay is pretty incredible in that game overall. There's a little bit of conflict between like what you're actually doing in it. Like the shooting and the story don't completely align as well as like the first game. Mm-hmm. But I can overlook that to a point because the story is so damn good in this one. And it's basically everything I loved about the first BioShock storytelling with none of the downsides of the storytelling. Like, it's just cleaner. It's better. The ending is utterly fantastic. If one of the best endings to me ever in a video game. And I mean, it's like a 20-minute conclusion. At least with them, it's not just a 20-minute cutscene. You're still you, and you walk around. And but there's a lot of stuff after the final battle, and they don't feel like they have to throw another boss at you.
Right.
Like, they can actually just have you walking through with really crazy visuals going on and explaining. Not even a huge info dump, really. They've done a good job throughout that game of dropping the info. It's just that the final twist that they build up to, and you're like, holy shit.
I feel like that one was it critically not as well received as the rest of the series?
I don't think it was as critically well received as the first one.
Uh-huh. Okay.
But the first one is a weird game where I'm like, it is very good, and it was definitely very groundbreaking for its time, but it definitely faltered on its some of its storytelling.
Yeah.
Pacing was kind of messed up. It definitely got in pieces where you're like, what was I thinking on the first one? There's plenty of times, the ending, the post-ending of the big twist is just a mess. The twist is fantastic, but there's a lot of weird, like, RPG backtracking stuff that happens. Mm-hmm. Sometimes, like, that filler stuff, you're just like, God damn it, I just want to do the thing. I'm not looking to get another quest thrown at me so I can do the thing that I want to be doing. I look at you, Witcher 3 sometimes.
Yeah, right.
There's definitely some times in Witcher 3 where I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, just why is the next thing being like, fine, if you want to progress through the next point of the story, you must go do these 3 other things in return so I can continue on.
Right.
It really annoyed me. So, was it? Yeah. There was pretty much only one part of Witcher that did that, and I can't remember who gave you the quest, but it was definitely a point where I was like, son of a bitch. I was ready for the payoff, and I've been thwarted by RPG bullshit.
Obviously I love Witcher 3, but that also drove me fucking nuts. We're like, you're almost done. Nope, I'm definitely not. I'm going back out. Doing something else, because I would like to, like, end the sequence before I, like, turned off for the night or went to bed or whatever. And I was like, I can't fucking stop.
Yeah.
Here. I keep going.
But Infinite, I feel like, overall has a better written story. I like the characters quite a bit more. I especially like Booker and Elizabeth a lot. So yeah, and I will always say that it also probably has something to do with having kids. In that game, a person who has kids and a person who doesn't have kids will react very differently to that game.
Interesting. Okay.
In my very limited analysis when I was at PopCap asking people once who had finished it, and how emotionally impacted they were by it. And the ones that had kids were very emotionally impacted by it.
Oh man, I'm about to fucking...
I know, you should be playing this game.
Yeah, okay.
It's really, really good.
I plan on it then. For me, number 8 kind of falls in a similar vein of Rocket League, where these are 2 games that I put a ton of time into and love, but because they're not story-based, I feel like I'm privileging story-based stories to go up on top of my list, because that's what I'm really looking for in games. But number 8 for me is Overwatch by Blizzard.
Yep.
Just fucking hero shooter genius. The characters are so different, even the newest ones that are coming out. I forgot what the name of this character was. The recent one that just came out has some weird-ass skills that just don't really track with earlier skills. It's very different, the way that they're deployed. There's like a shield, but like Reinhardt like holds the shield.
Oh, right, yeah.
Or Bridget has like a smaller shield, so she's more agile. And this guy like sets a shield, and then you can push it out into space. Kind of just different stuff. It just always seems smart and unique and evolving in the right way and moving toward Overwatch 2, actually putting the story missions in that Brad and I were able to play at BlizzCon, like that's a good move forward. But Overwatch, just so many hours, so much fun, just over and over. I would turn it on to play for a couple matches or whatever, and then look at the clock and it's fucking 2 a.m. or whatever. It's that kind of game for me. I think that the lore outside of Overwatch is fun, like the comic books and whatever else. I wish more of it was in the game, obviously. But the character design, the voice acting, obviously, is fucking great. It's my go-to competitive shooter, and I was someone who came up on Counter-Strike, and this is not that. This is very much more, I don't want to say cartoony, but obviously like a lot of the skills don't really track with a a realistic shooter. So.
It's like an action shooter, basically.
Yeah.
I agree with everything said there. I haven't put enough time into it ever, but that's just me, who doesn't play a lot of online competitive stuff. So.
Right. Yeah. And it's, for me, I think this is the thing that Brad and I always get in about. It's like you've spent so much time playing these games that you just like, there's no progression. You're just doing the same thing over and over and over again. You could have played all these story-based games, which is totally true, but there's something about that. The competitive aspect, like my wife and I were talking about fantasy football that I'm fucking obsessed with, even though I don't watch football. And she finally was like, I think it's the competition that you don't really get elsewhere. I'm like, that's exactly it. Like, I need the competition.
Yeah.
So Rocket League and Overwatch fill that void for me.
I mean, there's a thing to be said about repeating over and over again. I mean, we could talk about my hour count of Diablo 3.
Yeah, right.
Which is well over 1,000 hours of Diablo 3 across all platforms it's on. And I'm not playing that game for the story at all. Ever. At this point, I am just playing it because I like the loop of character progression and earning gear and leveling up.
Right.
Spoiler, that game's not actually in my top 10. Would be somewhere under my top 10.
It's on my paper, and it didn't make my top 10.
It's there, and I thought about it, and I was like, no, probably not overall. But I understand whenever you have a thing, to me it doesn't have to be competitive. Probably better if it's not competitive for me. But I do get into games where I'm just like, I just want this game. I know what it is. I know the gameplay mechanic and loop, and I'm just going to repeat it over and over and over and over again.
Right. It is comfort food.
Yeah, basically.
So, no, I get it completely.
Which actually leads into my number 7, which was in 2016, Stardew Valley.
I saw that on so many lists today. I was like, yep, that's Anthony's.
It's in there. It's got to be in here, and it definitely makes my top 10. And it's exactly what it is. That same loop over and over again, but done so well, and in adding a piece of, like, you actually care about the town you're a part of and the NPCs that are there. It's everything I've basically wanted out of Animal Crossing and Harvest Moon smashed together by one dude who made it. It's ridiculous.
It's such a feat that he made that all by himself, man.
It is a feat. It's incredible. It's still, like, dumbfounded at how much time and effort that took. But it works, and it works really well, and he made a game because he basically wanted the game I just described, Harvest Moon, Animal Crossing, together with all the things that he wanted in it. He chose an art style he could do, and he just executed, and just spent time, 4 years actually, making the thing. And I think there's a big patch coming out. I think it's on the PC now, and it'll be on all the consoles soon, that adds just a ton more stuff to the game. A lot of post-marriage content. So there's more stuff with the townspeople, especially after you marry one. And, like, just more events. Just in general, there's just more. I think it'll probably be the last major update to the game. But to me, it when you want comfort food, this was the game. It was the game I could just sit down and chill with, and it always had just one more day.
I love that part of that game.
Oh my god.
I only played a couple hours of it, but you get to the next day and it's like, well, I kind of want to see what the result of what I did yesterday.
It only saves whenever you sleep. A day takes about 15 to 20 minutes. So you finish, you sleep, it saves, and you get up and you're like, well, I could just leave the house and see what my crops are doing. Oh, there's something to harvest. I should harvest that. Oh, I should water. Oh god, I've already watered. I'm already I'm already a few hours into the day. I guess I'll just finish this day. It's cool.
Right. Okay, I want to save, obviously.
Yeah, I mean...
And it just you leave your computer running, I guess. But
just over and over and over again.
Did you get that again for the Switch?
Yeah, I have it on the Switch. That's where I play it now when I do play it.
Oh, okay. Cool.
And I'm waiting for that next patch, and when that next patch comes out, I probably will play it again. It's incredible that it got made by this dude, and it's better than any Harvest Moon game in the past decade.
Right. Oh, sorry about that, guys. I just banged my mic. It outstripped everything that it was trying to emulate.
Yeah. And now I think all those are trying to emulate it.
Right.
And then it's the right game. It's a game when you play it. It's also, how do I put this? It's an optimistic game.
Yeah. You leave with a good feeling, right?
Yeah. It's a sincere game. You can feel sincere emotions while playing, and it's all about positivity for the most part. Everything you're doing in that game is positive. So it always feels good. So, yeah. Had to be in my top 10. So good.
A worthy spot on the list for sure. For me, this I got to put on here not only because of playtime, but I think just the way that the game is put together and how much investment I put into it. Assassin's Creed Odyssey is on this list. It's hard not to be. For me, like the perfection of the. I know some purists are gonna say this is not correct, but like it's like the best. It's the best Assassin's Creed game. I think it has obviously the sequence path that used to happen in the Assassin's Creed games is not in this game.
Nope.
It's just the open world RPG ish game. Adding in some of the dialogue options, just added another layer of like that RPG, building the character you want to have. Even though I don't know if the things that you said to the characters change the story in the end too much. But it plays super well. Like it's really responsive with the controller. There is a shit fucking ton to do. I've spent over 100 hours in that game and still have not even done half of what's in that game. Still need to finish that final DLC, by the way. And Cassandra, I fucking fell in love with her. I love Cassandra as a character. Like that really pushed me forward in that game. And I wonder if I would love the game as much if I were
Deimos.
Deimos? Yeah.
I don't know.
So that's number 7 on my list.
It makes sense.
And it's fucking beautiful. It looks great. It just everything about it except for the load screens.
Yeah.
Loading that game takes forever.
See how it works on a PS5.
Yeah, that would be.
See if the loading is just insane and fast.
Yeah, that would be great for that game and for Shadow of Mordor.
Yes. My number 6 was from 2014, Transistor.
Oh fuck! I forgot about that game. How the fuck is that on my list?
Because it's not on a lot of people's lists, but that game is very special to me.
Yeah.
It's just a very artistically pure game, from the music to the visuals to the story being told. The way it's told, and then I really tied to a pretty fun real-time turn-based tactical system.
Yeah,
I mean, I've talked on this podcast. I've talked about it before plenty of times. So it's just a really special game to me overall. I enjoyed Bastion from Supergiant, but this was the game that solidified them in my mind as like a prestige kind of art house developer.
Yeah.
I consider them more art house.
Right. And
I'm really looking forward to when I'm almost certain Hades will hit consoles here soon once the Epic Game Store exclusivity is up.
You played that,
there
right?
Once. No, I haven't.
Oh fuck! Oh man, it's good.
I know. I've been waiting. It's a game I want on the Switch, and I'm almost certain it's going to show up on the Switch.
God, I hope so. It does the same thing like Transistor, where it takes a known quantity in terms of genre or whatever, and just like adds the Supergiant formula, like the twist to it. Like it's like Stardew Valley, where it's like emulating something but adding to it, like adding to the genre, having something to say. It's fantastic.
Yeah. So Transistor doesn't make top 5, 6, but it's there.
Dang. I think that would have been on my list if I didn't play DOS 2 recently. Journey is number 6 for me.
It was on my list for a little bit.
Oh, damn. 2014. So it's basically, I've played through it a couple of times. And the first time I mean, it's one of those games where like the first time you play it when you don't really know what's happening is fucking magical when you get to the end and you realize that you've been playing like where you thought were NPCs or whatever. Those are actually characters that are other players on the internet, and they're helping you. They can either stay with you through the entire game or just through a level, and you get like the credits at the end telling you who you played with.
Oh, you didn't know that?
I did not know that.
I think that's why it's probably on your list and not mine.
Yeah,
because I knew going into it that I was playing with other people.
Yep, and I think that's the magic of that game. That if you knew, it takes something away from it.
Yeah,
just totally. Because of how smart that was. Because I had no fucking clue. I just knew I'd heard on several podcasts. I started listening to podcasts and gaming podcasts around 2015, and this was a 2014 kind of Game of the Year candidate. Just go in blind. Play the game. Don't know anything about it. Just go in and play it. So I purposely didn't listen to shit, and I just went in there and played it. And as I played, I was like, "This is the mechanics are fun. Like the way I'm like traversing the world and like this mysterious like the scarf's getting bigger and like who the fuck am I? Where am I going?" And then as the story built, I was like, oh, this is a fucking story of reincarnation. This story of getting to the top of the world, top of the mountain, and like what happens, like the life and death, and like big questions that really were impactful for me. And then to get through the end of that story where I felt emotional, and then to realize, oh fuck, I was playing with people the whole time.
And they were helping you?
Blew my fucking mind. Yeah. It made sense going back why one person was like whistling at me a lot, and I was like, why is this bugging out? Why is this NPC continuing to whistle at me? But they were obviously trying to alert me to something that I fucking didn't pay attention to. So that's
crazy.
Number 6 on my list.
That's a good one. But I definitely see why it's on your list and wouldn't be in my top 10. But
yeah,
I was spoiled on what it was going to be before it ever came out.
God, that sucks.
Yeah. My number 5 is from 2016. And also has a 5 in its name. Persona 5.
Nice.
I had never played a Persona game before. This is it, and I got obsessed.
Yeah, you did.
And it was so good. And I'm so looking forward to the Royal, and I'm going to play it all again.
Nice.
It's just a really... I don't know. The themes really landed for me of the like rebellious youth, and the standing up to authority, especially authority who's doing wrong. It holds true on even the smallest people can make a big change if they want to and if they work together. And then the mechanics are really cool. Again, it's one of those things, just another day, because you got to plan your day. Got to go to school, got to do that stuff. Oh, I have a day off. Where do I want to go? Who do I want to talk to? I can only do a couple things a day. And I love that stuff.
I love the constraints that some of these games have. It makes you feel you have to be creative, and it's more meaningful for me.
Yeah, it is, and that added a ton of meaning to this game. And I'm sure I could have played it better when I did play through it, and I'm interested in trying it again, and maybe being more optimal. Who knows? The thing is, with the Royal version, it's going to have another character, and it's probably going to have more things to do. So it's going to disrupt any of what I would think would be optimal play. The music is amazing. The art, like it has style for days.
Right.
Through the UI, through everything. Like its art direction is incredible. It's probably actually some of the best art direction I've ever seen in a video game. Because it's just every screen, every piece of UI, all fits. It's all the same style, and they're okay kind of being a little crazy. Yeah, so absolutely love that game. That was my number 5.
For me, my number 5 is a game that I don't think you've touched. I don't even know if you own it. It's Celeste.
Nope.
It's basically like, the punishing platformer that kind of started with like Super Meat Boy or whatever. That I fucking feel like is perfected in Celeste. Not only is the music is fucking incredible, the pixel art is great, but the screen-to-screen puzzling is so compelling. I played it without any of the assists on all the way through, and could not stop. Didn't find a single world or screen that kind of just felt like just doing the same thing over and over again. Like, I just want to get through this. Like, everything was fantastically tuned to adding new challenge as you went. It was like flow state for the entire game. Really, the mechanics, the way that he builds like a small subset of skills that Madeline can do, and to make traversing the entire world just awesome. Like the thing that blows my mind about this game is it's a fucking platformer where half the time you're not on a platform.
It's true.
Doing crazy shit through the air, trying to get around onto platforms, and you're basically taking breaks on platforms and then trying to jump through the air again, double jump, whatever, bounce off walls. Just the trial and error that must have gone into like which pixel do I put this platform so they can just barely reach it. I played it all on Switch. I never wanted to throw my Switch.
That's good.
I felt like it was a fucking triumph to beat that game. That one, and then the number 4 on my list. Number 3 on my list. Beating those 2 games and beating like the hard shit in those games just felt like I was king of the world. So it gave me that feeling over and over and over again. And there's still more to do in the game that I haven't done yet. So that's number 5 on my list.
Awesome. Yeah, maybe I'll touch it at some point. Not my genre, really.
No,
but
not an.
Everyone talks about it being really good, so I probably should play it at some point just to try it.
Yeah, I mean, just to have an experience of it. And I fucking forgot to mention the fucking story it's a platformer, and the story is fucking incredible. It's about, I mean, it touches home for me about anxiety and depression and panic attacks. Just all cylinders. That game is just incredible. I think it's a 2018 game. Yeah, that's my number 5.
My number 4 has already been mentioned by you, and that would be Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Oh shit! It is.
It's up there high. So this is the thing about it. I had a list I knew an Assassin's Creed game was going to be on here somewhere. Mm-hmm. And probably only
2
one.
Or this one.
No, because 2 was earlier. 2 was 2009.
You're right.
Assassin's Creed Brotherhood was 2010, which it was 09. And that was basically the game. It was either Assassin's Creed Brotherhood or Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Yeah. And when I really thought about it, I was like, which game do I like playing more? And it's Odyssey. Yeah. Like, I really enjoyed Brotherhood, but if I actually was like ranking which Assassin's Creed games I think are the best, Odyssey is probably my top by far. Even beats 2. A lot of for the same reasons you were talking about. I know it breaks tradition for the Assassin's Creed games. Just fine by me. I'm like, good, let's do this.
Right. I'm with you on that one.
It becomes a more of an RPG than any of the previous ones. It doubles down into that genre far more, and I like it better because of it. And I'm okay with it not being as historically accurate in that way, that I can do super heroic moves, whatever. That's fine.
It's fun. Like, give me some fun, man.
Yeah, it's fun. But the thing isn't being a fun game. The writing is really good.
Yep.
Cassandra is amazing, especially her voice actress.
Yep.
And it hasn't the way that the side quests are so good in this game. Like, you'll just hit a side quest and you'll spend a few hours on it, and it's just a really good story. It doesn't tie back into things as much as like Witcher 3 does a lot of times. But the stories are really good, though. Like, they're just side stories where you're like, that was a really cool side story on this island.
Right. It's compelling, and it's worth the time that you put into it, even if it doesn't have spider webs that kind of connect to everything else.
Which is fine. It didn't need the spider webs, because most of the stories all thematically hit home for the overall themes of the game, and reinforce those. Like, it's a good game, from what you said, and I really enjoy it. I have 1.5 parts of DLC left. I have the final Fates of Atlantis. I'm halfway through the second one.
Oh, you're halfway?
I haven't finished it. I'm halfway through episode 2 of Fates of Atlantis.
Oh, got it.
And then I have the third one, which I haven't even touched.
Right.
I should do that. I
forgot that they had come in episodes, right?
They did, episodes. Yeah. Each DLC was broken into 3 episodes.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, I'm just in the first episode of the Fates of DLC. Or Fates of DLC. Fuck. Fates of Atlantis. Fate of DLC is that everyone's going to buy it.
Yeah.
Fuck. Awesome.
Yeah, it was a really cool game.
Number 4 for me is one that I thought was going to be higher. It's fucking phenomenal. I mean, it's just, all these games are amazing. Mass Effect 2 is my number 4.
Okay.
And obviously I played through all 3 of them, and I think I played through all 3 of them on different systems, maybe? No. It was Xbox and then PC, I think, for 2 and 3. I think 2's the best. 2's the best Mass Effect.
Yes.
by a million miles. Just the interaction with the crew members, the multiple ways that the story could go. I've ended up like finishing that story with everyone alive, doing that final. Was like I forget exactly what happened at the end there. Actually, you're all together walking. Oh fuck! Something happened. For the number 4 game on my list that I think is fucking incredible. I'm blanking on the end piece there where everyone was still alive. But the way that you can interact, the way that it gives you choice for what kind of shepherd you want to be, the Paragon or Renegade choices, and just the fucking lore of Mass Effect, man. Yeah. That game was incredible. And I thought that the action, the fighting, the way you interact with the world, the combat was significantly improved from 1.
It was. They really leveled up their combat mechanics from 1 to 2. And it worked. I think the only thing that would make Mass Effect 2 better for me is if it had the weapon system of 3.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only thing. I was like, if you could give me Mass Effect 2, but had the effectively the inventory weapons of 3.
Yeah.
Sold. Done. But, yeah. Incredible game. And it might show up on my list. You never know. That was your 4?
That was my 4.
So my 3 is from 2015, and I'm sure this is somewhere on your list, if not number 1. Witcher 3.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, exactly. For a game that I bounced off of twice before playing, just getting into, it was such an incredible experience.
Just get the fuck out of White Orchard.
Yeah, just get out of White Orchard. Get out of the way of yourself. And it really, for a lot of people, probably it's not an issue. It's just I get obsessive with this stuff, and I want to explore everything and finish every quest before moving on.
Right.
And that really kills the pacing at the beginning of the game. But getting past that point, and then you're getting to the first part with the Bloody Baron, and like really into is that Novigrad?
Mm-hmm.
Like just then you get really thrust into the story. And it's amazing. The writing is so good. Learning the combat was a ton of fun once when I truly realized it's like, oh, I need to be prepared for what I'm fighting. Like really need to look going, I'm going to fight this type of enemy. I should coat my blades in these oils. Do X, Y, and Z. Make sure I have these bombs equipped. And the game rewards you for taking that time. So from a gameplay and mechanic standpoint, absolutely incredible there. And then just the world, the lore, the characters, especially the characters, they're so well written. How everything kind of feeds back into itself without you even knowing.
Right.
It is quite the accomplishment of a game. I can just go on and on with praise for this game, and we have. That's the thing. We've praised this game over these 200 episodes. We've given a ton of praise to this game.
I feel like we've talked about Witcher 3 probably the most of any game we've talked about. Maybe Breath of the Wild, but
yeah. So
man.
So yeah. Number 3.
I'm sure I'll have something to say about that in a minute. My number 3, like on some days, is my number 1. It's fucking Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight was just such an experience for me last summer. Obviously, the game's well made. The Metroidvania formula that it ran with. The lore of the Bug Kingdom here. All the smart way that you can pull in your badges. Like different badges give you different powers, and you have like a certain amount of slots, and it really made you think about what powers to use in what situation. And like that game was fucking harder than Celeste. And it took me forever, but I fucking beat the secret final boss after I think 100 times dying. 100 fucking times. I remember just sitting on my couch just fucking texting Brad because he had already beaten it. Which is funny because he didn't get into the game until after we were talking about it on the podcast, and him and I talked about it. He beat it before I did because I just got stuck on that the radiance at the end, and he just better at games than I am. He nailed it. But I just kept texting him like fuck it again and again and again and again, talking about it, just like obsessing over my build and like just missing it by a spot. And then when I finally did it, it was just like, it was fucking better than sex, man. It was that feeling was just such a release and such a relief. And I cannot wait for the Hornet game that's coming out hopefully next year.
That's true.
Yeah.
Eventually it will come out.
Yeah, well, hopefully next year, yeah. But the other thing about it was such a perfect Switch game, and it was, God, was it last year? Was it 2018?
No, it was well, the game came out in 2017.
Oh, but it came to Switch in 2018. Yeah, okay, got it.
Yeah.
So I played it in the summer of, because after it came out at E3 2018. And I got on my Switch, and it was the time when I just discovered that tea shop that you always see me fucking post on Instagram.
Yeah.
And it's just like my time of the week to like just be alone. And it was my alone time, just amazing. You know, just it was a time for me to kind of like have time for myself, and this was the best way that I could spend it. It was such an incredible experience. So, did you ever? You didn't really get into that game.
I know, right? I didn't beat it, but I played quite a bit of it.
Oh, okay, that's right.
I just got to parts that really infuriated me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think I'm going to rage too much.
I'm going to throw my Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it.
My number 2 is from 2010, and is Mass Effect 2.
Awesome.
This game and the top game swap spots multiple times. I just didn't know, but we talked about Mass Effect 2. Of all the Mass Effect games, it's my favorite by far. I've played it 4 times through. And it's a game where I remember the first time I played through it and beat it, I immediately, after the credits rolled, immediately started up and played a second game. Started just into a next game. Because I was not ready to say goodbye to the characters in the world that they had set up there. And that's the thing why 2 stands out to me more than anything, is it's such a character story. There's a lot of world stuff going on, but it's told very small scale of like, you're Shepard, these are your crew around you, and it's their stories that matter. And there was a lot of cool characters to let's be honest, to romance, basically, because that's what a BioWare game does.
Right, and it did it really well. That was something that I hadn't really experienced in games too much. I think I had played Mass Effect 2. Maybe I played it after Witcher 3, I can't remember. But like those 2 games, like for me, the romancing thing is the first time I really experienced that.
Yeah.
Fully.
So yeah, the combat was so much better than the first game. It actually felt like a shooter this time, with proper mechanics and shooting mechanics and cover.
Even the Mako was a little easier to drive.
Yeah, I mean, it only had a few sections of Mako that wasn't just like randomly explore a world. I mean, if anything, its smaller scope helped it compared to the first game. Like, they just trimmed a lot of the fat. We're just like, we are going to give you a crazy action story. Go. And we're going to do characters that you actually care about. And a really funny AI. Oh, Edie.
Oh my god, I love Edie. I think she survived Mass Effect 3 for me.
She didn't mind.
But Tali, not so much.
No, you chose a bad night to play that game.
I fucking blame... in the end, I blame Russia.
There you go. Good plan.
Yeah.
And the fact is you can have both of them live. You can have
Russia
Legion
and Trump? Oh.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true too. They are alive. Legion and Tali both can live. There is an ultimate happy choice there.
I definitely did not.
You did not get that.
For me, number 2, Breath of the Wild. Unbelievable. I know it's a different Zelda game. They don't get the dungeon thing as much. Even the Divine Beasts were not really a dungeon in the traditional sense, but the exploration, the way that the world interacts, the way that you can like the dynamic systems coming into play with each other. I really liked the 4 champions, like the character design and their stories, and the way that you could just like tackle any. You know, you could go to Gerudo. You can go anywhere of the 4 that you want to first. And it was like the 3rd or 4th Zelda game that I've beaten. And just the most memorable. I still remember sitting up in what's now my daughter's nursery, in a recliner. Just I go in there when my wife goes to sleep like at 9, and I'd play till 1 in the morning, just mainlining that game. And then obviously when you came down here and us playing together, you played on the Wii U on the screen, and I played with my Switch, and just like so many good memories of that game. Like I always find myself wanting to restart it and thinking I have so many new games to play or whatever else, but like I want to experience that fucking game I want to delete that game from my memory and play it again.
Yeah.
Art style, everything's great.
Even if you don't, it's still a great game to just play again.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Because there's so much you haven't experienced in that game. It's shocking.
It's been 2 years, like almost 3 years by the time we get to March of 2020. Like,
yeah.
Might as well. I've forgotten. Fuck, I forgot the ending of Mass Effect 2, and I fucking love that game. So
yeah.
Fuck. Yeah, so that's my number 2.
It's my number 1.
Ah, nice.
That between it and Mass Effect 2 went back and forth, but I think Breath of the Wild is the best of the decade for me, if not potentially the best game I've ever played in my life. That game is stunning to look at.
Yeah.
For one, the art style, I mean, it's like playing a Studio Ghibli movie, basically.
Right.
The fact that they pulled off that look, immediately you're just like, this is a new Zelda. And it's the best open world I've ever seen. Just absolutely the best. Wherever you go, wherever you look, you can go and you can climb to that top of that mountain, and guess what? You can jump off of it and glide.
Everything's accessible.
Everything's accessible. That climb anything was so groundbreaking. Just insanely groundbreaking.
It fucking ruined Horizon Zero Dawn for me. I should not have stopped.
I totally understand that. I still love Horizon.
Yeah.
Horizon was very close to the 10 spot here. I had to platinum it. But it just didn't make it there. Maybe because of Breath of the Wild and its the freedom that its open world gave you.
Right.
But it's the same thing you said. You can go any direction, face anything. I'm actually happy because it was such a different Zelda game. Shockingly, I want my media to not just keep on redoing the same thing. I want it to progress and try new things. Mm-hmm. And I was so happy that it did try new things. I love the shrine style, where it's just go in, do a small puzzle, sometimes longer than a small puzzle. You never know what you're going to get. And they were always exciting to go and find out what that shrine was going to present to you. The Divine Beast, yeah, they weren't full dungeons, but there were some pretty good brain twisters in there. Yeah, I don't know. It was a game that just nailed all of its core mechanics, the core loop, made a fantastic open world that was just fun to explore, and then probably the best thing this thing did from a game design standpoint, to me, is it made the actual act of traversal fun. Like, I loved just climbing things and gliding and running. Like, I didn't have to find anything. It was the actual just act of moving and going through the world was fun.
It's a game you did not want to... That and Spider-Man, like, you don't want to fast travel in those games.
No. Which is one of the things that, like, when I think about Witcher 3, is, like, running through its world is not that fun.
No, it was not.
Sorry, Roach, you kind of suck. Unless you were just on the road just saying, like, autopilot me where you're going.
Right.
But it's not just Witcher 3. Most open world games failed pretty miserably at the traversal aspect of the game.
Right. You know, AC Odyssey is the same thing. Like, I thought it was better than Witcher 3, but still not that fun.
Yeah. The only thing the Assassin's Creed have that... but that's the thing, the Breath of the Wild has the same thing, is climbing really tall things in Assassin's Creed is awesome. I really love it, getting to the top. But just the actual, like, running around the environment, not that great. Like... No, definitely not. It's serviceable. It's not like a detracting experience. It's just not standout. It's kind of like, yep, I'm just going from point A to point B. Breath of the Wild going from point A to point B was always a good time. I had a blast.
Except for the fucking rain sometimes.
Oh, the rain. I forgot about the rain.
I understand it. That's fine. And then sometimes you're climbing up with a metal spear or whatever on your back and you forget your metal shield's there or whatever, and then fucking climbing in the rain and slipping off and then get shot by lightning.
And that's those systems all working together.
Yep. Fucking smart.
Yeah.
Man. All right. Number 1 for me, obviously, is Witcher 3.
There it is.
I was going to make some dumb joke, but I decided not to. It's Witcher 3. Hands down, full stop, unbelievable game. Yep. Honestly, like, I got back into gaming in 2014, but this came out in 2015. Had an Xbox One, and for some reason I had like $15 of credit, and I just was reading Reddit forums or game review threads about this game. I had never fucking heard of it at all, but it sounded right up my alley in terms of kind of like a fantasy setting, role-playing game, and that's just what I was in the mood for, like rolling right into summer, because it came out in May of 2015, and loaded it up, didn't stop, could not stop. Like, playing it all. I just, every spare second I wanted to get back to it. Like right now with Divinity Original Sin 2, every spare second I want to just dive into it. I'm so excited about next week where I have a day off, where kids in school, wife's in school. I've got shit to do. I'm fucking playing DOS 2 all day, and that's what I felt about
so
Witcher
good.
3. That's how I felt about Witcher 3, man. I could not fucking stop ever. And then the DLC, man. Like I think of Witcher 3 like as all of them all put together. Like it's
that second one, the
Blood and Wine.
Blood and Wine was amazing.
Yeah, it was, and I feel like no matter how much I love it, I still only did like probably a third of what was available for that game. Giving Geralt a house and like filling it up, and like the stories, the way that the stories ended. I mean, it's a game. I fucking bought it. I own it on PC. I own it on Xbox. I own it on Switch. I own it on fucking PS4. I would buy it for my fucking iPad if I could. Like, that game is like the game that I will continue to play for the rest of my life. And that's why I'm so excited about the Divinity Original Sin 2 right now, because the feeling that I have right now, I haven't had since Witcher 3.
Yeah.
Obviously, Hollow Knight like infected me, but the story wasn't there. This is like the story is there too.
Yeah.
Witcher 3, hands down, best of the fucking decade for me.
It was a good list from honestly both of us.
But yeah, it's hard.
This is a good decade, really. And like I said, there's like 40 other games on here with me. Like Fire Emblem Three Houses was there for a bit. What I have on there, I put Papers, Please at one point.
Oh, nice.
Because it's an amazing game. Because I never want to play it again. Because it emotionally makes me like freak the fuck out.
Yeah. Right.
And that's incredible. Like, what else is on here? Horizon Zero Dawn, Darkest Dungeon.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, Journey was on here for me. Like, Valkyria Chronicles.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's been a good decade. Like, a ridiculously good decade.
What a great... I mean, there are a couple of years. I think, 2019, 2017 were both, like, fantastic years.
Yeah.
Maybe 2011 or 2012. For me, a couple that were on the bubble, basically. If it wasn't DOS 2, it would either have been Super Mario 3D World for the Wii U, which I thought was maybe my favorite Mario game. My favorite 3D, quote-unquote, Mario game.
Yeah.
Diablo 3, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate,
yeah,
and then Uncharted 2.
Uncharted 2 was not in this decade.
Oh, it fucking wasn't?
Nope. I checked on it because that would have been in my top 10.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Uncharted 2 was October 13th, 2009.
Oh my god, I thought for sure it was this decade.
Nope.
Alright, never mind then. That's off the list.
Yeah, no, I had to look that one up because I knew it was really close.
Yeah.
But yeah, nope. Just a couple months too soon.
Yeah. Great game. So, yeah. I mean, I hope the next decade is as good as this one, but who knows?
It probably will be. It's starting strong. I'll give it that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Cyberpunk and
Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah. Something else coming out in April or May that I'm forgetting. Something else that was supposed to be alongside Cyberpunk.
Yeah, no. I don't know. There's a lot coming out in that, but a lot got pushed as well.
Pushed, yeah.
Last of Us 2.
Oh, that's it. Fuck, thank you. Last of Us 2.
The decade, the 2020s are going to start strong game-wise.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Speaking of games and Sony and Last of Us 2, there is a state of play. I know we're late here, so maybe we'll just do it really quickly. What the fuck are they going to put in the state of play?
It's not going to be Last of Us 2.
No.
Ghost of Tsushima?
That's what I think.
I would hope they would put that in there.
Yeah, it's going to be a ghost dump, basically, which is good.
It needs to be something like that, because if it's just going to be a bunch of filler stuff again, no one's going to be that happy.
No, they might as well stop if they're going to keep doing that.
Yeah, because the last one, wasn't it a bunch of filler stuff of just like, oh yeah, cool, and it was Last of Us 2 at the end?
Yep.
Yeah.
And because I have PSVR, there was some stuff in the middle that was interesting to me, but if you didn't, then I don't know if there was anything interesting besides the Last of Us 2 release date.
Yeah, and I mean, they don't want to... You got to be careful here, because they're going to be pushing up against the PS5 release at the end of 2020.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Ghost of Tsushima, maybe some smaller stuff we don't know about.
I guess my crazy announcement or guess would be fucking Sony PlayStation Battle All-Stars?
Whatever the fuck I know what you are. Yeah, they're Smash, fake Smash thing.
Exactly. I seriously doubt that, but I'll just go crazy.
Yeah. I don't have any crazy predictions. But the only thing is I expect to hear more of Ghost of Tsushima. Since I think it's the other big game next year by Sony for themselves. There might be some Final Fantasy VII stuff in there, since they're doing a lot of co-marketing with Square on it. Mm-hmm. But really, I mean, it's basically going to be mostly things that you would expect to be out before E3.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know right now. We'll find out, though, on Tuesday, right?
Yes. Tuesday at some weird time. 1 p.m.
Sorry. I'm not at work yet, so I have another week of not knowing what day it is.
Yeah, well.
Because that's my life, it feels like.
Tomorrow's Monday. We're recording on Sunday.
Yeah, sometimes, though. Friday, I was like at the store, and I'm like, God, what day is it? I don't know why. I'm at the grocery store. I don't actually know what day it is.
That's how I am with summer and winter vacation. Like,
I'm sure.
What day is it? Oh, man.
Well, cool.
Yeah, it's 2/21 Prof and Dev Play Games. We are rolling into a new decade pretty soon. Those are the top 10 of our last decade, and boy, oh boy, lots of stuff to play.
Yeah.
We will see you all next week. If you like our show, please rate us on your podcast service of choice or check us out on Patreon, Prof and Dev Play Games. See you next week.
Later.